Happy Saturday! I decided to jump on. I was hanging out in my scrapbooking room and I thought I would jump on and do another live. I did a live the other day showing the sampler set number 3, which I just want to share again. This is 50% off right now, this set. What I'm gonna do today is I'm actually gonna combine just this set and one of our past Kiwi Club kits. Spring is in the air. I have these pictures of my daughter's wedding day and I thought I would do a quick page and I thought I would just jump on and do it live. So let me make sure I can see your guys' comments in case anybody has any questions or is new to kiwilane. Let me know. I'm going to try to go really quickly just so that you can see the process from start to finish, and I'm definitely not going to overthink my design. I'm just going to kind of play and then we'll explore our design together from start to finish. I do have my basic tools here, so pencil, scissors, ink, dauber, adhesives, and outside of that, I'm going to use the Kiwi Club templates that are in this set, sampler set, and my photo sets, which I use on every single layout. So, all right, I'm going to start by pulling out some background sheets. If you're not familiar with the Kiwi Club, I did put a link up there, but let me know in the comments as well. So this is a past Kiwi Club, but every month we get a new kit, and we have 2 options. You can do one where it's just the templates, or you can also get the paper. If you want to use your paper stash, then templates are great. You can still utilize the ideas, the inspiration, and the events that also come as Kiwi Club members. And those are always found on the inserts and also inside of the special VIP club member group. But what's also great about the paper is that we already formulate it. So it just makes it even more easier when you're scrapbooking. I love when I can use a Kiwi Club. I love also when I can use my paper stash, but there's just moments where I just want to really feel confident in the layout that I'm going to get and take a little bit of that heavy lifting off. And so for me, I love when I can do that with the Kiwi Club paper kit. Okay, so I'm not going to talk too heavily about the Kiwi Club in general. I'm just going to use this kit, and you could see you get quite a few. They're all double-sided. We do include background sheets, as we refer to them, of course, so that you don't, if you ever bought paper kit where you have to buy multiple just to get enough, and each kit actually will create 3 2-page layouts, so 6 pages in total. But I'm only going to create 1 today. So I like to start with the background. I like to create 2-page layouts for the most part. And so I'm just going to kind of test my backgrounds here with my paper. This is pretty much, again, when I sit down to scrapbook, I definitely have my templates, my paper, and my pictures in mind. From there, then I might have to make some choices. So for me, I'm just kind of testing out. I don't think I like the green, just from the options I have. And of course, everything's double-sided. Oh, it's kind of pretty. I definitely think that's pretty. Let's see. I definitely was pulling up your guys' comments too, so I can see them. We have this blue option, maybe a little bit more blue. And then there's this light option, which is really pretty for a wedding as well. Let's see. Maybe I'll go the dark blue. I liked the contrast of that. And it'll help when I'm displaying my templates in the live. So I always like to pull out that background. For me, I place the other backgrounds to the side because I don't want to accidentally cut into them. And then from here, you can select what approach from a main pattern. I have not done any of this yet. I just pulled out the kit, like I said, and thought I would go through that process together. So we have all these awesome patterns and supporting patterns that help coordinate all of that for you. Okay. These are just kind of fun pictures. I actually think I might do the bikes. I like the little tulips in it, pretty. I could do this one. I love that one too. Probably if I did that route, I would want to change my background. But again, what I don't use today, I'll use another time. That's more pictures where that came from, right? So that's good. I like to know kind of what main pattern I'm going to use for sure, at least from a Kiwi Club when I initially start to play. simply because I'll keep this in mind in how I position my borders. So let's get to that. I'll start designing, which is the first step, of course. This is Spring is in the Air. It's a past kit. And then I'm going to be using the templates that I mentioned. I'm going to put my pictures to the side while I build a game plan here and then come back to that. I'm going to be using sampler set, but along with that, I am going to plan on using just some templates from a past Kiwi Club, mix and match them a little bit, just to kind of really take one basic set that has so many variations and options in and of itself. But then the moment you start just taking one of our basic starter sets, whether it's the sampler set, which again is 50% off right now. If you have not given kiwilane a try, I'm telling you, you got to give it a try. It's such a good time to do that. But then also if you wanted to say like, just add to it every month with the Kiwi Club to have that consistent, support and confidence and reassurance that you're going to get some fun designs, which will result in beautiful pages. I'm going to merge it together with one of the past club kits, and we're going to just enhance our design, still using our basic sampler set, and not really thinking too much outside of that, to kind of keep it simple and just to kind of build on top of that. I did a live the other day as well, showing the sampler set. I used a few different designs. I didn't quite use this bird, and I might use the bird here in this one as well. And then over in Beautiful Ride, we have a mini border. Okay, also FYI, we have the pre-sale for the mini border bundle, if you have not heard, is only through Monday. So coming up here on the 16th. Definitely want to take a peek at that. I love adding mini borders to my 12 by 12s as well. I think they're just kind of a fun thing to layer your borders up. We talk a lot about layering with your embellishments and, accessories and things like that. But isn't that fun just to kind of add an extra layer to the border as well? So cute, so easy to accomplish. Another fun way you can incorporate these is like, say, actually maybe I will throw in some photos now just so we can explore options here. I'm going to throw in some flowers into the mix too. And you'll see here as I design, and a little bit each time, but changes a little bit as far as how you approach the designing portion, of course, which is where your ideas will come from. Your creativity will start to kind of awaken as you play, because play, especially tactile play, is so valuable to just creativity in general. But you'll see that I'm just kind of like moving things around, mixing and matching until I lock a design in. I am going to throw the photos in, and it's almost like you just kind of, combine all the recipes in a pot and then stir it and it becomes something yummy. Maybe I'm hungry right now. But I'm going to use my photos to help me figure out which pictures can be cropped and stuff like that, because I want to figure out my orientations, because every time we scrapbook, right, our pictures are unique to us, right? And so I definitely want to keep those in mind and let those also be a focal point. So I actually have some 4x6s that don't really have any room for cropping. I could crop this one, and this is what I use these photo sets just to kind of help me, decide on some of those decisions. Nope. Yes, I could do that here. If I wanted to do that, I do cut off her dress a little bit, but her dress is shown in many other memories as well. So I'm not too worried about that. You know what? Where did all my, there we go. I threw them on my thing here and I'm like, what did I do with those? Okay. So let me go up to a 5x4. What I'm trying to do is make sure I assess my pictures here, because this is going to help with display as well. And then I'm going to kind of combine those together. I think I'll do 4x6s all the way down. Okay, with these. You can see those orientations of those. Now, I'm not cutting into my pictures. This is super important because I can't tell you how many times I have cut a picture without, again, that game plan. So I want to make sure I have that considered while I decide on what is what. All right, let me sit down here for a moment and we're gonna come up with something. Maybe I pull this over this way. Whenever I do a photo lineup, which is where your pictures, like they'll go in a line like this. If I have all these 4x6s, for example, right? And then I always like to kind of pair that, and in this case, I'm pairing it with the sampler set border, which is, in this case, is a sampling of the McKay Boulevard border that's in this Give It a Try set that we have 50% off. And then also, I'm going to add in, I definitely like the thought of layering a mini with that. So I love adding minis, like I told you, they're so much fun. And then even little cute, I like to bookend them too. I like to kind of, you could take a flower or something like that. The sampler set does have this splat, we used it last time, but it's all about what paper you're using, and I think this actually could layer in some beautiful designs. Actually, I do have these cutouts that happen to come with this kit, so maybe I'll layer a few of those in there. So that could be cute there. And then over here, what I'll do is I'll take, so it kind of like bookends that, but then I was looking over here thinking with this mini border, maybe I'll just put a little photos right here, offset it, right? Which can be fun too. And then maybe add in all those flowers, cute little flowers. Again, tuck, merge, play around with various options as far as things like that go. And maybe even little bird there. I don't know if I need that. Maybe I'll use it for a title. I haven't really even looked at my titles yet. So then I'll put those pictures there. And these are just some random group shots, not the more formal ones. So I'm okay with it being a little bit more playful. And so I'll do that later. Life is an adventure, enjoy the ride. Cute. Some of these are more for spring on this kit, and I'm using it for weddings. So I probably will keep it, I'll probably do a custom title design. Actually, it doesn't matter where you're going, it's who you have beside you. I might do that because this is all about just close friends of theirs, and of course they're some of their bridesmaids and groomsmen, the more silly ones. So I actually might do that title in this case. And in the Kiwi Clubs, we actually designed these, and like I said, each Kiwi Club, since I am pulling out a Kiwi Club and using it, comes with a digital idea book. So a lot of these little tips and things as far as you can get really creative with pulling some designs out of the title cards and using the templates to pull it out. This same technique and tip can be used for stamping or things like that too. But that could be really fun there. Or of course you could just use them as is. But if you are pairing them, it's fun to explore, just like with the photos. I was using the photo templates to kind of help assess some of that. It could be really fun to also assess like various ways you can incorporate titles or journaling into the designs themselves so that it's like less blocky and more movement. And I think that that's fun about the borders and just general, is that it adds a lot of movement when you are playing with your design using the designer templates. So just kind of breaking up some of the straight lines and adding, you know, life is full of movement. So scrapbooking pages, definitely movement, right? So adding some of that movement to your page. Okay, let me make sure I can see your guys' comment. Okay. Yes, happy Saturday, guys. All right. Okay, I have my design. I'm pretty much happy with that. I considered my pictures. I kind of laid those out already, but 4x6s is pretty easy, but it's still nice to have a sense of visual aid before you lock that in, which I'm good with that. I could sit here and I could cut out my pictures really quickly. You know what? Sometimes I do that at the end. Sometimes I do it at the beginning. Often I'll like reach for my border and cut that first, but I think I will just actually finish up adding these pictures to this layout. I only need to cut these two because the other ones I am in this case going to keep to a 4x6. So I'm going to do this one. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to use them as a cropping tool now. Actually, I'm going to go down a little bit. I'm going to tuck the photos so the dress is going to be hidden just a little, but I do want to probably get that full dress in versus like the sky or the tree. So I'm just going to make a mark, and now I know how to trim that down. Pull in my straight cutter and then cut that out. Okay. And then with this other one, similar, I'm going to, and I like to tuck. You could put it on the top of the border. Honestly, it's not a decision you have to make right now, but tucking, layering, mixing and matching, all possibilities as you play to create. And explore and then be inspired with what you prefer. And that's really where you get to play your way to creativity. I'm always amazed when I give somebody we've tried this, we call it a play off. And I give them exact same set, like a sampler set, for example, and then tell them to go, you know, we gave them 5 minutes. We're like, okay, you have 5 minutes to come up with a design. And what we found out when we play this game is that they don't need 5 minutes. I missed my line there. They only needed like 2 minutes and they came up with designs. So I think there are definitely times where we even overthink it. It's fun to play, and I always like to put a little timer on, sometimes 10, 15 minutes, just so that I give myself the option to explore. But if you really want to just be like, I want to just jump right in the moment I sit down to scrapbook, right? And you don't want to find yourself in the spinning wheel of looking at an empty page. You want to start actually feeling like you're making progress. Put a timer on for like 2 minutes and just be like, whatever I come up with these sets is what I'm going to design. I promise it's amazing. Like I said, I was shocked whenever we played, again, we call it a playoff, and we have like these little competitions sometimes we've done it at expos and events and things like that. So I didn't even use the other pieces inside of the sampler set. I only used the one border and then this fun element and then the bird. And then I did mix it with just a few items from a past Kiwi Club Kit, but I still have this fun bike and other elements that I didn't use from the Kiwi Club too. So lots more to be had. But yeah, this sampler set again comes with all of these designs. You'll see that this layout's going to look completely different than yesterday's layout if you didn't check out that live using the sampler set. Lots of variations, and again, the moment you change the paper, the look changes as well. So many fun ways that you can explore those options. All right, and then I'm gonna lay this in here. I'm actually okay with my bikes going sideways. I don't mind patterns going sideways. I know sometimes people do, and that's what I was saying. Keep in mind your main sheet here, but it doesn't bother me when my patterns go sideways. I prefer it sideways than upside down, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut out my borders. I like this main pattern to really hold and anchor a lot of that weight. And so when you're using main patterns, I really like that the borders allow those main patterns to be part of your overall design and mood setting, but they're anchored inside of these designs for the borders that also help make sure your page feels cohesive with your pictures instead of overwhelming your pictures. So the borders, I definitely should be mentioning this. I do it so habit now, but just in case anybody happens to be sitting on the fence and hasn't tried Kiwilane and is thinking about getting the sampler set at 50% off, just know when you design with the borders, I did have one over here and one over there, right? You saw that? When I go to trace them out, I do trace them out together. I line it up on the edge of the paper that I want. I'm gonna do a straight and then a mark right here. I traced it down the middle, mark. That's where that mark is. I'm gonna do a straight cut, okay? So pretty simple, pretty basics. Once I do the straight cut, that's when I detach it from the larger sheet that I'm working with, right? Get a nice clean cut of my paper, and then I'm gonna cut it once up the middle. And I'm just gonna repeat this process. After the designing process, which we accomplish within a few minutes, we're gonna trace, cut, ink, replace. And that's how we are able to accomplish the pages, use up our paper stash, and be inspired with creative ideas, just repeating that method and process, and then, you know, making it your own as you go. Now, definitely when I'm cutting it up, I'm just doing some quick shortcuts, just kind of gliding my scissors up, pretty simple. And then once I get to that point, I ink. Now, I'll show you the inking here on this one. You can see there's a little pencil line, right? Which I use the pencil line more as a guideline than an exactness. And then I just recommend you just ink right over those edges. It's kind of it has multiple reasons inking that is. And I know those of you that are familiar with Kiwilane, you probably have heard this a million times, but I just always like to reinforce it. It's not just for hiding the pencil. That's a bonus, because why waste your time erasing it? It also gives it dimension when you're working with a lot of pattern papers, and that is definitely something we love to do, mostly because we want to utilize our paper stash, right? We want those beautiful patterns that we fell in love in the first place to do a lot of the heavy lifting on our page, to do a lot of that embellishing for us. The patterns have a lot of ability to do that, right? Instead of using expensive embellishments or things like that, utilize the patterns in the paper to really set the stage for the memories that you're scrapbooking. And so by adding a little bit of the ink, you get this nice finished look. Hide any pencil, blemishes, or things like that, but it also gives it a nice contrast between the patterns themselves when you start layering and mixing different patterns on your page, right? I'm gonna slide that back under here just so we can see our progress. Okay, so we're gonna repeat that same process over and over and over again, okay? Oh, congrats, Trisha, on your granddaughter. Yeah, there's a lot more pictures from here, from this point. And I have more intricate pages with the wedding pictures, of course, but then I have, you know, simple ones. And I think it's a good reminder, just pick some pretty paper out from your stash. And it does not have to be too complicated of a page, that's for sure. All right, so next I'm going to go ahead and trace this out. I think that's a fun title. Actually, I don't know if I would have gone in this direction, but when I saw it in the kit, you know, I think that's kind of a fun approach to the wedding. Again, this page, along with many, many other pages, especially when it comes to big events like this wedding and other things. I have a stack like this big of pictures. But again, I think there is sentimental to these pictures, that it's who's with you, right? Who's next to you, standing next to you. And that actually worked great. I didn't have it planned, but I think it works great. So I'm going to incorporate that title by just using this mini border. In this case, you'll see again on the mini borders, it creates two. And so I might just bring that over there and balance this pattern over on the other side with my opposite piece that I'm going to get here after I cut out the title. You don't have to use this other piece. We could, you know, cut another pattern for this other border, or we could definitely incorporate that in. Ooh, I just saw this little trimming with the border being under the other border, and I was like, oh, now I feel inspired by that. So we might have to add another border on top of the border. We'll get there. Getting ahead of myself. And then of course, I like to ink those edges. And if the straight edge shows, I like to ink that as well. All right. Yeah, that's kind of cute. Okay, so I'm gonna pick another pattern here that I think works great with this. Now, remind myself really, I do have this other side, this little touch of yellow, which is really pretty too. I'm gonna pull this over for a moment just to kind of get a feel of what patterns I have here. Okay. Super pretty. Okay. I might use the yellow. I kind of liked the yellow. There's little pops of yellows in the flower. That's really pretty there too. Okay. All right. So this is what I'm thinking. I might do another thin border. So what I'm going to do is I don't want the whole length of the border. I just want to just go over just a little bit, and I'm going to do a lining to this border because I think this one more layer will elevate this design. If you want to trace, sometimes I'll do that. Like I just don't want to measure it. And so I'll just trace the top of the border here. And then I just use that. I will do a straight cut here. I'll go over a little. And because I'm just doing an edging, I'm just gonna come over, I don't know, maybe like 1 inch. Just give me enough that I can tuck this layer up behind the other layer. Then I'm gonna cut that other layer out, same process. And then we're gonna tuck that in behind. It's gonna be so cute. Yellow's a good happy color. Like so, okay. Add a little ink, blend in those edges. I don't need to do the top this border because I plan to tuck that in. So this is kind of what I'm thinking here. Just another little layer. Same template, just adding another layer. So again, you can see that little pencil line. I even get pencil line, but I've done it so many times that I don't worry about it because I know it works every single time. Every time I ink right over it and it does its job. So kind of blend that in. That's when I need to go up on the top a little bit more pencil line. Okay. The same thing. We're going to kind of layer those. I'll probably put the photos on top here and then layer that yellow behind. Like so. Now I'm going to cut out this flower. We're gonna call it a flower. I'm gonna go with a flower. We're gonna call it a flower. Oh, I wrapped presents the other day, late, because the kids keep they think it's funny trying to peek, but you know, I am a sucker for, it's hard for me to keep a surprise, but Christmas, technically I am actually a sticker on that. If you come and sneak into your gifts, they might just go back. They might be taken back to the store, so don't peek. I think they do it to push my buttons, but yeah, so I wrapped gifts the other day, pretty late. Oh, too fun, Marcel. All right, so same process. We're gonna trace this out. I'm gonna pull in this light pink. And then, let's see. Detach it, of course. Anytime you're working on, you know, a fresh piece of paper specifically, not like maybe a scrap, a fresh piece of paper, I always detach it. Always detach it so that you don't have the hassle of the bigger one. And then I'm gonna just kind of change my cutting approach. to more of a snipping approach. We actually cut this one out the other day, so it's fun to see it out of pink. I think I cut it out of red on another layout I was working on. So completely different layer here, like that. Cut that there, and then just kind of pull those to the side so they don't go on my page. Because usually I'm working on such a small space, right? But it's nice because, again, the basic tools I showed you at the beginning do the trick. Pull those out. Pull out this sampler set in this case and one of my Kiwi Club kits, and off we go. And then, of course, I like to use a dauber for these reasons when you're like bending back. And then I ink one way whenever I'm doing like a round one, and I ink the other way. So I do this way and then I go the other way. And then, of course, I always like to kind of bend. I don't know, it's just habit, but I like to kind of add a little bit of, you know, more depth to the paper, just a little. Even though it's going to go in a page protector, it still gives it a little bit more depth to that. It's just satisfying. It's just satisfying. Okay, guys, if you know a scrapbooker who wants the sampler set or needs the sampler set and wants to give it a try at 50% off, because it's such a good deal. Oh, every scrapbooker should try it, right? Every scrapbooker should give it a try for them to experience the Play-to-Create system for themselves and just to see how blissfully simple scrapbooking can be. Again, we can make it as intricate as we want, but it doesn't need to be every single time we sit down to scrapbook. And I know one of the biggest things I always hear from scrapbookers is, I don't have enough time, I never have time to scrapbook. Well, 30 minutes here or 40 minutes there, you can still feel like you're making progress. And also in those minutes, really enjoy, you know, the process of what you're scrapbooking as well. That creative process and feeling that creative process as you go. I'm going to cut out this base here, and so I'm going to do this fun flower, but I need the bottom piece, and then probably what I'll do is I'll pull the pink over for the top piece of this flower. So in this case, I'm actually going to only trace out the bottom part of this leaf that I need. Like so. All right. And then again, I need to detach that. So when you want to add a little bit of layers and depths to your designs, it's kind of like paper piecing, and definitely this flower from the Kiwi Club that I pulled in and combined with the sampler set is kind of one of those type of designs. It's super fun. Okay, so I just kind of slow down my cut a little bit on these tinier ones. And then I kind of go towards the tip of my scissors when I'm cutting out those details. But again, you can kind of slow down your cut. And then again, I'm just going to kind of brush it with a little bit of ink, pulling back those designs to give it a nice little finished look. Okay, there we go. And then we'll layer that in there, and then I'm going to do the top piece. Like I said, kind of pulling in some of that pink over here. But in this case, I'm just going to trace out that top part. And then I'm going to layer it with the other part. So this again is a past Kiwi Club. I just am showing how you can take one sampler set and mix it with another set, and you just expand your design options. So easy. And or if you're like, you know, considering the Kiwi Club, you really can design so much with the Kiwi Club and the sampler set. So get a base set, like a sampler set or one of the scrapbooking template kits like Nature Walk or one of those. And then, of course, every month you can use the Kiwi Club and the base set just to kind of get started. So it's another thing to think about if you're wanting to give it a try, and then of course, really feel like you're jumping all in and, you know, experiencing the full full results and confidence of creating some beautiful pages for your life memories. Super fun. Look how cute. So cute. And then, oh, I forgot I have these die cuts too. You know what? I might add another layer here. Linda did this the other day with a snowflake. She just cut it a little smaller. And I thought that was a really good idea. So I might do that here now that I'm looking at that. And thinking maybe we do some plaid. Let me see. Let me try one more color, see what I think. Or maybe, oh, let's do stripe. Yeah, that's cute. Do the stripe. I was pulling it over here. I think I might do the, again, whenever I think about adding a pattern here, I always kind of look at my left and see what options I have there too. It just helps kind of trim down some of the decision making. So I was looking at doing that in the bird too. So I'm only going to be tracing a portion of this, but I don't want to do a lot of the pre-thinking. So I'm just going to trace it out as is and then cut it down when I'm cutting it out. So let me show you what I mean. So if you want a quick other layer, and like I said, Linda did this with a snowflake, which honestly, this fun element could be a really cute layer inside of a middle of a snowflake or a snowflake of itself. And that's what I love about this design. They're so universal because the moment you change the paper, the look changes with it. So we're gonna do the same steps. I'm gonna trace and cut that out, right? And then we're gonna slim, or I guess shorten it in a way. Gonna remove my droppings. Sometimes I'll just let them fall, but I don't want to make too big of a mess. Okay, so then here is where you can just kind of shorten it a little bit. And I'm just gonna kind of eye it, like take off, I don't know, 1/2 inch off of each one. And we'll just kind of let those drop. I'll clean it up in a minute. Like so. Okay, let's see what that layers looks like. See? Look how fun. It's a fun way to add a quick another layer to your design. And if you want it a little bit shorter, you know what, maybe we will do a little shorter. Let me pull this paper over for a moment. Then I can clean up faster, move a little faster on that. I'm gonna take off maybe just a little sliver again. Like so, ink the edges. Again, pretty standard. Trace, cut, ink, replace, but able to use my basic tools that I showed you, kind of sit down in one sitting, have the ideas, inspiration, and quickly use my paper stash to do, again, all of that embellishing in a way, right? Like if you have little enamel dots or cute little centers, which maybe I'll put in some, I don't know, I'll find some cute little enamel dots or something to add into the mix. A cute little flower, let's add that to the middle, like that. Little pop-up, something standard like that, so cute. Okay, and then maybe I pull that blue over as well. Oh yeah, I was gonna cut this. I think I will. I'm just gonna cut that out of that. Yeah, I'll cut that out of that. Fun little bird. Maybe an enamel dot for the eye. I'll find an enamel dot. Maybe a cute little blingy, something blingy to kind of dress up the page. Like so. I love taking this bird, again, from the sampler set. This one, it is from springtime if you have the full set, but the sampler set that is 50% off right now, great for if you want to finally give kiwilane a try, or you've been like sitting on the fence, not quite sure what you think, or if you're, you know, feel like the process, there's something that you can kind of catch on. I promise that you can, and the whole community is here to support you, but it is pulled in the sampler set, but it's so cute. You could actually do little cute kissing birds. I probably will do that on another layout because I'm doing these wedding pictures, right? But it could be really cute if you double up on that and do a cute little kissing birds. So super fun that way too. Again, I would pull in some pop-ups. So one of the things that I love about just, again, pop-up in general, but when you're working with pattern papers, pop-up is just such an easy thing to implement that adds to a little bit of depth between your layers. Because you are playing with a lot of layers, but you're playing with a lot of layers with your paper, right? We're using pretty minimal paper. Actually, I'll show you kind of what of the paper I've used. Very minimal. So not much at all. And actually, I think we cut out those little sections. I still have all of this paper left. Again, because Kiwi Club in and of itself, if you get the Premier Kit, will make at least 3 2-page layouts. So many club members make more than 6 pages, but oh, and then I also did use the flower one, so I've used a portion of that, and then those. So yeah, pretty simple. And then of course I might actually take, I keep thinking I want to pull some of that green over here, and then I do need to still cut that out. I'm looking at it thinking maybe a blue, I could pull some of that blue over, or honestly, I might even just keep it a cute pink on pink look. I'm trying to think. Let me see what blue I have on one of my title cards. Well, I was thinking maybe a cute thing there. I might actually add that journaling card. I've been trying with some of these pages to kind of add some journaling into the mix. Maybe cut the top part of that and add some journaling there. Okay, I'm just gonna do a pink again. Because once you see, that's the beauty of the ink. Once we add even just the same color on top of each other, I'll show it to you. It gives it a depth and dimension. Actually, I'll cut that middle part out. I'm gonna do that other color. So that cut out, I like traced it, but I'm not gonna do that. Sorry, the table's gonna shake now that I'm erasing, hold on. I'm gonna just cut that one layer out. Again, detach it. Like so. And then these cutouts, which are in the designer templates, right? That sometimes you see, not all designer templates have it, but it will be a good example. Let me actually add a little pop-up. Little pop-up to this another layer. Add some ink, a little pop-up. Little pop-up there. Another pop-up. Look how cute that is. Here, I'm gonna hold it up so you guys can see. You can kind of see that once I adhere it all down. Is that cute? Okay, so here's this other part in this specific template. Again, this is unique to the Kiwi Club that I happen to mix with the sampler set. But whenever, this is such a common question we get when they're like, are you guys cutting or what are you doing? Like an X-Acto knife, like to get that out? So actually what we're doing, I'll just do it in pink again. Actually, I have a little scrap of pink here that I can use. we just recommend to use it as like a stencil, right? So in this case, we've moved from a template to a stencil feature. And so I'm just gonna trace that little piece out on top of a paper that I want. And we're just gonna go with pink, pink, pink. Even the smallest little scrap you can take advantage of, which is why I'm like, oh, I can use that scrap. And then I'm just gliding this through, especially with something so small like this. I'm using this hand to kind of rotate it through and then doing this. So if you have a friend, or I don't know, share the video, comment, tag them in the comments to let them know, hey, if you've been thinking about kiwilane, get the sampler set, because there's so many options that you can design with it, not just like this fun page that we created really quickly together. Since it's such a beautiful Saturday out, I love when I get a chance to hang out in my scrapbook room on a Saturday and a December day of all days. That's very rare. But at the same time, you know, quickly within 45 minutes, like your pages don't have to take too long. You can get a great page done quickly. Doesn't have to be too complicated by all means. You can mat your pictures if you want, not mat your pictures. I actually like on the contrast blue. I don't mind it, so I kind of like that. And then I'll probably just add a little enamel dot here for the eyes. And maybe some, I don't know, thread for texture or something. But outside of that, I don't think I need too many embellishments on this page. I think the paper and the pictures really talk for themselves. They don't need too much other, you know, noise around them. So that's my page. That's my page that I have for you. So again, this sampler set, I actually put it up. If you guys need it, the link, let me know. Includes a lot more designer templates. This is the one I wanted to share with you guys just simply because it is 50% off right now. Normally that's you know, not on sale in the shop, so that's a really good price. And mostly just as we go into a new year, guys, we really need to scrapbook some pages, right? Like to feel confident in the pages that we create, use up our paper stash, and just feel that creativity and all of the many benefits that come from creativity. So of course, I want every scrapbooker to give it a try. Anybody that's sitting on the fence, give it a try, pick up a sampler set, and tell us what you think. Once you give it a play, like sincere play, right? All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Have fun wrapping the rest of your gifts or cooking dinner or whatever. But again, once you have 30, 45 minutes, like again, that's all you really need from time to time. You can create a beautiful page easily within that. So just pull out one of the sampler sets, lay it out, trace, cut, ink, replace, and there you go. Off you go. All right, guys, I'm going to finish adhering this page down and then add it to the album. All right. Bye, guys. Take care.